As per usual, I would greatly appreciate it if you would subscribe to the channel. Really helps me out. Thank you. Today we will cover Valentine's Day in Japan and China because there are actually some significant differences between Valentine's Day in these two countries and the West. For example, China actually celebrates at minimum 3 different Valentine's Days, sometimes even more, depending on the region and cultural norms of that town or city. For the sake of time and my sanity, we will focus on the 3 major ones. Much like Western Valentine's Day, February 14th, this day is also celebrated as one of China's Valentine's Days, mostly in urban areas and very much in the same way that Westerners celebrate Valentine's Day. That is, partners gift flowers or jewelry or whatever have you, go out to dinner and enjoy a romantic day together or some form of date. They also have their own specific Valentine's Day called Qixi Festival that falls on the 7th day of the 7th lunar month. And this is based on a romantic folklore story about a cowherder and a weaver girl. You can Google that if you like lore and history. The third major Valentine's Day is May 20th. And this one is solely based on how May 20th sounds in Chinese. May 20th is 520, which in Chinese is Wu Er Ling, which they equate to Wo Ai Ni, which means I love you. Now, I am not kidding or trolling or joking even slightly about that 520 description I just explained to you. Don't shoot the messenger. Do with that information what you will. Now, I know the perception is that China is a very traditional country in terms of culture and values, and in some cases it is. That is still very much the case. But like I have said, humans are the same everywhere. They just have different experiences and a different geographical location. Nowadays, the modern Chinese person expects extravagant gifts on these Valentine's Days for a variety of reasons. And to be honest, the gifting partners have grown fed up with it and are starting to opt out of relationships, dating, and especially these Valentine's Days entirely. Others that are more measured or like in their perspective regarding this have started to view it as a capitalist initiative to get couples to spend more money and 3 times a year as opposed to once a year, and for that reason have jointly opted out of it as a couple and are instead choosing to direct their money towards things like apartment payments, house down payments, or children necessities. Now, if you know me personally, I'm someone who doesn't really keep track of dates, months, weeks, more than is absolutely necessary for my life to function as a responsible adult. So as you can imagine, having 3 Valentine's Days to keep track of is a nightmare for someone like me. Thankfully, China has a robust delivery service and many flower shops offer same-day delivery. So my problems were often solved with turning up, being alerted to the fact that it's one of these Chinese Valentine's Days, taking up my phone, pressing a few buttons, and problem solved. I've seen online that men usually don't get flowers until the day they die. If you are someone that would like to experience getting flowers before you die, just move to China and that problem will be solved. I've been gifted more flowers during my 10 years in China for Valentine's Day than I can even remember. My apartment was the final resting place for many a bouquet or flower arrangement. And that is not because I'm a Casanova or somebody special, but because my students' parents and companies would also send me flowers on Valentine's Day. In Japan, Valentine's Day is approached completely differently. Japan has two Valentine's Days, but they function entirely different to Western Valentine's Days or Chinese Valentine's Days. In Japan, the first Valentine's Day that they observe is also February 14th. However, on this day, it is the ladies who present others with a gift, usually chocolate, which is divided into several categories. We have Honmei, or homemade chocolate, which is used to convey romantic feelings to a partner or prospective partner. And the general rule of thumb is if the chocolate is homemade or a premium brand, then the girl is confessing her romantic feelings to you. Homemade chocolate or baked goods, however, are not always homemade chocolate though. Stick with me, I know this one's a little bit difficult, but we'll get there in the end. Some girls just like to bake or are good at it or like to put in a little bit of extra effort. And they might just bake a whole bunch of cookies or chocolates or brownies. And these are not to be confused with actual homemade choco. Now I know that might seem confusing given that just based on the fact it was made at home, it should be homemade. But homemade is actually about the sentiment and effort to make something unique and not the process of making it at home. If a girl bakes 50 muffins, but they are all the same, then clearly there is nothing unique or special put into these muffins, therefore nothing unique or special regarding her feelings towards the people she is gifting them to. But if one of those 50 muffins have a completely unique and special design, that one is probably homemade choco. Homemade choco, however, can be as simple as a girl buying store-bought chocolate, melting it at home, and reshaping it herself via molds to convey her feelings and show her effort. Next, we have Giri choco, or obligatory chocolate. This is given to classmates, colleagues, bosses, where there is no romantic or sometimes even friendly relationship whatsoever. This is usually a cheap store-bought chocolate that comes in bulk that can just be handed out in mass. It might also be those 50 muffins that I mentioned that are all entirely the same and therefore just obligatory gifts. Next we have Tomo Choco, which means friend chocolate, often exchanged between girlfriend groups so that the girls don't feel left out when the boys are all receiving homemade or obligatory chocolate on this day. We also have Jibun Choco, where girls basically buy themselves chocolate or a gift. The idea behind this is not that bitter loneliness that you guys might be thinking, but rather you have to be happy with yourself and in your own life before you can make someone else happy. So many girls just opt to treat themselves to make themselves happy so they'll be better partners for people. Finally, and more rarely, we have Gaku chocolate or Gaku Choco, where guys give girls chocolate on Valentine's Day, much like in Western societies. It exists, but it's not the default, and therefore not very prevalent on this day. Now, if you are a guy that didn't receive something for Valentine's Day, my condolences, but you don't need to worry about what follows. It might be a tough pill to swallow if you had your eye on a girl but didn't even get Giri chocolate from her, but at least you can just swallow the quiet rejection and avoid direct rejection and embarrassment. If you are one of those lucky guys that received something from a girl on Valentine's Day, welcome to March 14th, White Day. the counterpart to Valentine's Day, where guys return the favor to girls that gave them either Homo Choco or Giri Choco. If you got Giri Choco, usually you just give something back like generic cookies, candy, or chocolate. Usually white chocolate, in keeping with the theme of the day's name. If you receive Homo Choco, usually you will give something like skincare or hand cream. If you're returning the romantic feelings, maybe even small accessories or jewelry if you are really serious about conveying your feelings. Here is a quick cheat sheet so you don't read things wrong as a guy and embarrass yourself. If it's expensive or personal, then it's a pretty safe bet that the girl is conveying her romantic feelings to you. If you see her giving generic chocolate that is small or mass produced, or even if she made things at home, if she made a lot of them and gave them to everyone, it's obligatory or friendly. Please don't embarrass yourself by returning a romantic gift for White Day if you receive something for Valentine's Day and it was just obligatory. Now, if you receive something for Valentine's Day and ignore White Day, it's usually seen as rude or at best indifferent. So if you don't want to upset your colleagues or classmates, you should probably just return something mass-produced that you can easily get at the convenience store or supermarket. It doesn't cost a lot, and it will have a very big impact on your social connections and relationships at your workplace or at school if you live in Japan. Anyways, that's enough out of me. Run the music.
Living life, every day, late at night, not okay. All I want, and I pray, all I need are some better days. Fuck me, I'm looking in the mirror, so foggy, but I've never seen clearer. I don't really think anyone can save me, and honestly I'm not really sure I want saving. I like to be my own worst enemy. There's no risk if you don't try at anything, so I'ma just keep buying everything. See you in the next life, have to be a better me. I don't think that my head's on straight, gotta flip it and grip it and go and get an x-ray. What's wrong with me? I just feel weight pushing on my chest and it squeezes till I suffocate. Better change my mindset, meditate. It's pretty cool that I'm alive and have better days. I could walk, see, hear, I should celebrate. Think I could change my mind, maybe elevate. Living life, every day, late at night, not okay. All I want, and I pray, all I need are some better days. Yeah, all I need are some better days. Cause all I want, and I pray, I believe in the better days. I'm kinda stuck between a rock and a hard place. Do I work hard or live at my pace? You're only young once, yeah that's all great, but I also want a future where I'm okay. Living life is doing lots of cocaine. Wait no, it's living with no